on a similar but a little bit unrelated topic. You had a viral ad in 2016 that called for stronger background checks for gun purchases. There's a recent gun control bill that was just passed. Do you think that this is going to do enough to curb gun violence, or is it more of a band-aid solution?
Well, I don't think it's going to do enough, but I think it's a positive step. I mean, I think that it at least breaks the seal on doing something, and I do think it will make a positive difference for people. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously, and look, I think many of the sponsors of that bill recognize that it doesn't do enough, and that there's a long way left to go. I like to point out to people that one of the things that hasn't had anywhere near enough traction, that we should be talking about a lot more, is the fact that, about 20 years ago, roughly a little over 20 years ago, we passed a law that made gun companies immune from civil lawsuits. And when I talk about this, people think that what I'm saying is that we should make it so that gun companies should be able to be sued for making guns. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if we simply repealed a really dumb law that we passed, we could make gun companies get treated the same way tobacco companies get treated in this country, which is we allow courts to set not even courts, juries to set a reasonable expectation of what gun companies are supposed to do in order to prevent guns from getting in the hands of people they shouldn't get in the hands of. Because there's a lot. I mean, everybody wonders, why do we not have smart guns yet? Why do guns get sold to people who clearly shouldn't have guns? Well, because we have given complete civil immunity to gun companies so that they have no responsibility in that area at all. And if you think about it, I mean, I don't think we're the same age, but when I was a kid, everybody was smoking. Like, my parents smoked back then, and they've quit now, but they smoked back then. And like, we would go to a restaurant, it was like smoking or non-smoking. You go on a plane, smoking or non-smoking. Now, when I drive down the street with my son in the back seat, when he sees a person smoking in the car next to me, he's like, "Dad, that person is smoking a cigarette. That's disgusting." It's a big deal when he sees it. So, that is not a result of legislation that was passed. That's a result of people sued and said, "Hey, I don't think that tobacco companies are living up to a reasonable expectation of how they should, conduct themselves." And courts stepped in, and it forced tobacco companies to change in America. Well, we can do the same thing with guns. All we've got to do is treat gun companies the same way we treat the manufacturers of any other product.
Mm-hmm. And California right now has sort of gone down that path a little bit, sort of using the civil lawsuit reimbursement strategy. Would you like to see other governors try to work on this in their own states?
Yeah, I'd love to see other states do it, but I also think we need to recognize that the states can only go so far, because at the end of the day, you've got a federal law. So the states are having to put things together around and through that federal ban on holding gun companies responsible for negligence.